I live in a townhouse.
Yeah.
Well, my neighbor wants to move, and I just think it would be really great if you wanted to move in on the other half of my townhouse.
If Savannah wasn't still finished. Sense of the word.
This is also the back of it.
Is that what that's what this is too? Oh, weird. It comes in.
Now it's a hat.
Oh, honey.
The air in Flagstaff feels heavy these days, almost like the weight of years of broken promises is pressing down on every corner of the Brown family's world. Behind the polite smiles and carefully chosen words, there's a silence that speaks volumes, a silence filled with mistrust, resentment, and a deep fear of what's coming next. You can almost see it in the way people avoid certain conversations, or how eyes shift when the subject of property or money comes up. It's not just about disagreements anymore. This is about survival, and about who will walk away with something to show for the decades they've invested in this family. Right now, the control rests firmly in the hands of Cody and Robin. They hold the keys, literally and figuratively, to the land, the houses, and the accounts. Janelle and Meri, women who have poured years of their lives and hard-earned money into building something they thought they could count on, are finding themselves locked out of the very assets they helped create. The documents don't list their names anymore. The decisions happen without their input. And every day that passes, the risk grows that their contributions, their sacrifices, will be written out of the story entirely. What's at stake isn't just property lines on a piece of paper. It's the security of two women who stood shoulder to shoulder through all the highs and lows, believing the family's resources were shared, not seized. If the rumors are true, this isn't an oversight. It's a calculated move to consolidate power and keep them in the dark until it's too late to fight back. And once those deeds are signed away, once the bank accounts are drained, there may be no way to reclaim what's been lost. But here's the twist. There's one thread that could unravel the whole plan: Christine's child support filing. On the surface, it's a straightforward legal action to ensure her daughter HCKs as provided for. But under the surface, it has the potential to crack open Cody's financial world like a dropped glass. If the courts dig in, if those records are forced into the light, every hidden dollar, every quiet transfer, every missing contribution could come spilling out. And when that happens, Janelle and Meri may find themselves with more power than they've had in years. Hi, I'm Sarah, and you're watching TLC Sister Wives Recap. Welcome back to the channel. This story, this fight, isn't just another chapter in reality TV drama. It's about loyalty, betrayal, and the price of trusting the wrong person for too long. Before we go any deeper, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next update, and tell me in the comments, do you think Janelle and Meri will actually take legal action, or will they wait until it's too late? Because as it stands now, the clock is ticking. And when the truth finally comes out, it could destroy what little is left of this family. The story of how the property power shifted didn't happen in a single day. It was the result of quiet, deliberate steps that most people didn't see until it was already too late. At the center of it all is that 5-acre lot, once seen as a symbol of shared dreams and the future of the family. It was land meant to be divided fairly, to give each wife a piece of security in the years to come. But somewhere along the way, that vision changed. When Christine signed the quitclaim, she effectively stepped away from any ownership in that land. It might have seemed like a simple, even practical decision at the time, just one more form to make the divorce final. But the moment her name was gone, the balance shifted. That piece of land fell entirely into Cody and Robin's hands. No longer just a shared asset, it became something they could control without needing to consult anyone else. And with that control came the power to decide who stayed in the picture and who got erased. Janelle saw the shift and felt it in her gut. She's no stranger to handling finances, and she's not naive about how money can be moved, spent, or hidden. Still, she's hesitated to take the next step legally. Maybe it's the weight of years of shared history. Maybe it's the fear of what a legal fight would mean for the family's already fragile connections. Whatever the reason, that hesitation is costing her time. Time Cody and Robin could be using to secure the land in ways that leave her with nothing. Meri's situation isn't much different. She may not talk about it as openly, but the vulnerability is there. Her name is off the property records, her financial stakes slowly slipping through her fingers. She, too, spent years putting money into the family pot, profits from her businesses, personal savings, even sacrifices in her own lifestyle, to help keep everyone afloat. And now, all those contributions are at risk of being written out of the official story, as though they never happened. For decades, both Janelle and Meri operated on the belief that what they were building was for all of them, not just for one man and his favorite wife. They paid mortgages, covered expenses, helped with moves, and shouldered debt because they trusted in the promise of equality. Now they're watching the foundation they helped lay being claimed by someone else. It's a quiet kind of betrayal. No shouting matches, no public scenes. Just paperwork filed without discussion, decisions made behind closed doors, and the slow realization that the dream they invested in is being stripped for parts. And unless something changes, those 5 acres could become the final symbol of just how much they've lost. The deeper you look into Cody and Robin's hold over the family's property, the more it feels like a story written in whispers, conversations held out of earshot, numbers that never quite add up, and an unshakable sense that not everyone is being told the same truth. Month after month, payments have been made toward the land, but exactly how and from where remains a guarded secret. When questions come up, Cody sidesteps them, offering vague reassurances instead of clear answers. It's the kind of evasion that leaves you wondering if the truth is being hidden because it's too complicated or because it's too incriminating. Robin, for her part, has no visible income stream to speak of. No thriving business, no steady paycheck, no clear way to shoulder her share of the financial burden. And yet, she and Cody are at the center of the property ownership, holding the keys, literally and legally, to assets worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's a position that should inspire confidence, but instead it raises questions. How are the bills being paid? Where is the money coming from? And maybe more importantly, where is it going? There's an unease that settles in when you imagine the possibilities. Selling off small assets here and there, an RV, a piece of land, an investment property, just enough to keep up appearances and cover their own expenses. All while Janelle and Meri, the very women who poured years of earnings into the family, are cut out of the decisions and left in the dark. It's not just about dollars and cents, it's about control. Control over the future, over stability, over the narrative itself. The tension lies in the imbalance. Cody and Robin sitting on the assets while the others are left to wonder if everything they worked for is slipping quietly into someone else's hands. And the unfairness of it isn't just in the money, it's in the way trust has been replaced by secrecy and partnership by possession. You can almost feel that tension hanging in the air, like the silence before a storm that everyone knows is coming. But no one can quite predict how bad it will be when it hits. Christine's decision to file for child support wasn't just about securing money for her kids. It was a calculated step, one that could pry open a door Cody and Robin have kept locked for years. On the surface, it's a straightforward legal move, but anyone who's ever dealt with the courts knows that child support cases often come with financial disclosures, and those disclosures don't play favorites. They shine a light on everything: income, assets, debts, and the paper trail Cody has fought so hard to keep buried. For Janelle and Meri, this could be the first real chance to see the numbers behind the curtain. If Christine's filing forces Cody's full finances into the open, it won't just be Christine who benefits from the truth. It could empower all 3 women to take action. Imagine them, for the first time in years, standing side by side, united by a shared understanding of just how much they've lost and how much could still be reclaimed. And that's where the real tension for Cody and Robin comes in. Because once the courts have the numbers, they're no longer just family business. They're public record. That means no more hiding behind vague explanations, no more playing the trust me card, and no more manipulating the flow of information to keep the others dependent. It's the kind of move that starts small, just one filing, one signature, and then grows into a chain reaction. First comes the disclosure, then the questions, then the push for a fair division of assets. One domino tips, then another, and before you know it, the balance of power shifts. Christine may not have set out to ignite a legal revolution within the Brown family, but her move has the potential to do exactly that. And for Cody and Robin, the scariest part isn't just losing money, it's losing control. For decades, Meri stood by Cody through thick and thin, sometimes out of love, but often out of a deeply ingrained belief that walking away would mean not only betraying her marriage, but also betraying her faith. In their religious world, leaving wasn't just a personal decision, it was painted as a spiritual failure, a sign that she hadn't tried hard enough, prayed enough, or sacrificed enough. That mindset kept her anchored in a relationship that had long since stopped feeling like a partnership. But loyalty like that comes with a price. Over the years, Cody's words shifted from affectionate to critical, from understanding to coldly dismissive. In confessional after confessional, we saw the subtle digs, the way he framed Meri's unhappiness as her own fault, as if she were somehow defective for wanting more than crumbs of attention. It was emotional manipulation in plain sight, designed to keep her questioning herself rather than questioning him. And yet, something in Meri began to change. Maybe it was watching Christine walk away and find her own voice. Maybe it was seeing Janelle quietly push back against Cody's control. Or maybe it was just the slow erosion of hope until she realized there was nothing left to fight for. Whatever the spark, it's clear that Meri is no longer the woman who would sacrifice her own happiness just to keep up appearances. Her awakening isn't loud or dramatic, it's quiet, steady, and deliberate. She's still guarded, still careful about the steps she takes, but there's a new light in her eyes. The same loyalty that once kept her trapped might now become her strength, the resolve to stand up for herself, even if it means standing against Cody. And for viewers who've watched her journey, that shift is nothing short of powerful. When the Browns left the stability of Las Vegas for the uncertain promise of Flagstaff, it was sold as a fresh start. But almost from the moment the moving trucks rolled away, the cracks began to show. In Vegas, too. Hay had 4 homes, 4 separate spaces where tensions could cool and privacy could exist. In Flagstaff, they had scattered rentals, higher living costs, and one massive piece of land, Coyote Pass. That was more dream than reality. Every month, property taxes piled up, and the grand plan to build never seemed to move past sketches and speeches. The financial strain wasn't just about numbers. It was about trust. Each wife was expected to pitch in, even as the actual ownership and decision-making power narrowed into the hands of Cody and Robin. That uncertainty hung heavy over every conversation, every budget discussion, every tense family meeting. And then came the pandemic. What was already fragile became brittle. Cody's strict COVID rules, different for each household, forced long separations, cutting wives and children off from each other. Janelle's sons were openly frustrated. Christine missed milestones with her kids, and Meri was left even more isolated. One of the most painful examples was when surgeries were delayed and hospital visits were complicated by Cody's restrictions, leaving some of the family to face medical challenges without the support they'd once taken for granted. Flagstaff's high costs and the pandemic's isolating grip created a perfect storm. The emotional distance widened, the financial pressure deepened, and the image of one united plural family crumbled under the weight of mistrust, scarcity, and choices that seemed to benefit only a select few. The Browns weren't just living in separate homes, they were living in separate worlds. The children outside of Robin's home have been watching all of this unfold, not just as passive observers, but as people who lived through the promises, sacrifices, and publicity of their family's journey. Many of them grew up believing that the struggle to normalize plural marriage was a shared mission, that the family's unity was proof that love could overcome jealousy, politics, and hardship. Now they're seeing something entirely different. Some adult kids have openly expressed their disappointment in Cody, his choices, his favoritism, his absence from important moments, and his seeming inability to balance love and fairness between all households. For them, it isn't just about land or money, it's about trust. When the man who preached loyalty and togetherness now appears to prioritize one corner of the family, the sense of betrayal cuts deep. And it's not just the personal hurt, it's the legacy. For years, the Browns put their lives on display to fight stereotypes and show that their way of life could work. But now, with the fractures laid bare for the world to see, much of that hard-earned image feels lost. What was once a symbol of resilience has become, for many of the children, a cautionary tale. The generational trust that should have passed from parents to children is splintering. Instead of inheriting a vision of family unity, they're inheriting the lessons of division, financial mistrust, and emotional abandonment. And that loss, more than any plot of land, may be the one that lasts the longest. The tension is reaching a boiling point, and every move now feels like it could trigger a chain reaction. If Janelle and Meri decide to take legal action, the fight over property could get ugly, fast. Court documents could expose every hidden detail about Cody and Robin's finances, pulling back the curtain on years of secrecy. That kind of public exposure wouldn't just damage reputations. It could shatter whatever fragile connections remain between the family members. Relationships already hanging by a thread could snap completely, leaving a permanent rift not just between the wives, but between parents and children. And here's the real question. Will Janelle and Meri find the courage and the unity to act before it's too late? Or will hesitation give Cody and Robin the chance to lock everything down for good? One thing's certain, whatever happens next could redefine the future of the Brown family forever. Thank you for being here with me today. I truly appreciate you watching, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think legal action is coming?